Hey, what's up, y'all? I was reading The Rocket by Ray Bradbury, and it really just had me want to talk about the short story a little bit. So, it is about a junkyard, like a poor junkyard owner, I believe in kind of the unspecified future, that lives right next to an area where rockets to Mars, the moon, and like Venus and Jupiter are all shooting off. And he's been watching those for rockets for most of his life, taking off to these like insane areas and space, and he's never had access to getting on any of these ships or anything because he's very, very poor. And he goes outside one night to like just get a little bit of fresh air, and there's an old man outside that's talking to him, and he tells him, he says, for the past like my entire life, around 80 years, right when I was young, I saw this technology become like get created, and they said everybody's gonna have their space and in the heavens and the sky, and all of the population is going to transcend, and everything, all this new stuff is going to be easily accessible. And then he says, it's been 80 years and I've never had access to, I've never been on one of those rockets, and I never will, because I'm poor, and that kind of thing is not for us. It's for rich people. I guess you can kind of see there's kind of a similarity to like really, really poor people and like getting on planes. But so this junkyard owner, he saves up enough money he saves up about $3,000, enough to get a ticket, but he can only afford one ticket. And I think it's like a ticket to Mars or the moon or something like that. And he has a conversation with this old man, and the old man is like, how are you gonna come back to your family when you go and visit the heavens? And he's like, well, maybe I'll send my wife. And he was like, how are you gonna be able to live with your wife when she's seen things that you can't even comprehend, when she's literally seen the heavens? He's like, it just doesn't make sense. He's like, you need to reinvest that money into your business so you can so your business can be more sound, and maybe you can get out of poverty. And he's like, okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't really listen to the old man. And then when he is deciding who of his family members to send on this rocket, they all draw straws, but first his wife wins, and his wife is like, I can't do that. I am pregnant with a child. And then his son wins the next round, and his son's like, but I have school, I can't do that. And to me, it just seems like either they're worried about the other members of the family resenting them for their ability to do this, or they're just kind of afraid, which is understandable. I've missed out on opportunities and used logistic excuses like that before. But and then so the father decides, like, you know what, this just isn't worth it. We'll just reinvest the money into the business. But a couple of days later, a model rocket shows up in his junkyard, and it's not functional. It's like a prototype model rocket. And then so he gets an opportunity to buy this thing, and he spends all of his family's money and all of the business money on this non-functioning rocket. And his family's watching him through the windows, wondering what he's doing. And he puts all these car engines and screens and crazy stuff into the rocket, and in his head, and what the family thinks, like, he's building this rocket, and he's going to try to launch us off into space. And then so the kids are kind of excited, but the mom decides to lock the kids in a closet, because she's like, you can't put them in there. Like, look at that thing. That thing's not going to fly. Like, you're all going to die. Like, and it's not worth it. This is insane. And he tells his wife, he's like, you got to trust me. You have to trust me. And he's like, give me the key to the closet. And he goes and unlocks the closet, and he takes the kids into the rocket. And one of the things that I left out is that before all this, like when he has the rocket in his junkyard, he gets inside of it and he kind of loses himself. He starts imagining, in his head, he shuts his eyes and he starts trembling, and he's seeing himself. He's shooting past stars, and he sees Mars, and he sees the moon, and he's in the vastness of space. And for just a moment, he really believed that he was there, and he lost himself. So he takes the kids, and he's like, look, we're gonna go, it's gonna be a 7-day journey. And he gets them inside, and they go and they blast off, and they see that, they blast off, and they see that they're blasting past Mars, and they're blasting past the moon. And the kids, as they're traveling on the first day, he's like, okay kids, now go ahead and go to sleep while we wait. It's time for you to go to bed while we continue this journey. And the kids go to bed, and he steps out of the rocket once he knows that they're asleep. And of course they're still in the junkyard. And what he basically did was he spent all the money that he had to simulate this long trip. And then for the next 7 days, he would go inside and guide the kids and let them go to bed, and he would leave. And then he simulated this trip for them. And then when they get home, he lands the craft and simulates the landing. And they get out and they see the junkyard, and they're just like, wow, they're like, thank you so much. Like, you're the best father ever, and we're never ever gonna forget this experience ever. And then even the wife is like, wow, I didn't really think that this was gonna work out, but you really did it, and you really are a good father. And then it just kind of ends, and it has a really positive note to me. I think one of the main things that this is about is that, and I think something that you can put towards like weightlifting and stuff sometimes, or a lot of different things, is that the journey is more important than the destination. Like, the progress is more important than the finish. But I'm gonna get a little bit dark real quick. In my head, this story has an absolutely kind of horrifying ending to me, because they make it out that this family is in like pretty bad poverty, and he spends the last of the money that they have on the rocket, and then spends the last of the business's money like setting up this simulation. And of course, I know his kids and his wife are appreciative, but then what are they gonna do the next day? Like, when are they gonna do when they have to buy food? Like, I understand that they still have like a operating business and stuff, but in my brain, it's just like, I don't think, was it worth it for that one strong experience to financially destroy yourself for the rest of your life? Because that's kind of what I got from this. I think it's a vague ending for a reason, but it was kind of, to me, it was really kind of dark and sad, is that he was able to give his kids the gift of this memory, but it came at the cost of everything financially. So that's pretty dark to me. I don't know. But I'm gonna try to do these, some more of this. It's been a while since I've actually read, because I do not like reading, and I'm not very good at it. But in combination of like reading and audiobooks, I would like to do some more videos like this and talk about some of the things that I've read. I know this was a little bit rambly, and I got the story a little bit out of order, but this is my first time really trying a format like this, and I wanted to do it in one take without editing out, like editing in a bunch of stuff, and getting it as organic as possible. And I have this nice, wonderful backdrop. But yeah, y'all stay tuned. I appreciate you. Let me know what you think.